Okay. So here set pixel value integer x, integer y. So whatever the value of integer x and integer y, for example, it is 1.5 and 1.5, then 1 is used and at that position the set pixel function is operated, generate the pixel on the screen at location 1, 1. Then next location we need to identify. For that, x is equal to x plus delta x and y is equal to y plus delta y. And how we calculate initially delta x? It is x2 minus x1 divided by length, and delta y is y2 minus y1 divided by length. Okay. So using this value of delta x and delta y, next pixel after xy we are going to find out. Then increase the value of I by 1, so it becomes 2. If it is less than or equal to length, then pixel, whatever the value comes here, the pixel, for example, if it is here, then go for the next one. In this way, the algorithm operates. Now see it with example, then it will be clear. So the example, consider a line, write with me, consider a line from 0, 0 to 5, 5. 0, 0 to 5, 5. So use the simple DDA to rasterize this line, evaluating the steps in algorithm or evaluate the steps in algorithm. Okay, so for consider this line 0, 0 to 5, 5, and using the DDA algorithm, we are going to find out the values. So initially, what is x1? It is 0. What is y1? It is 0. What is x2? 5 and y2? 5. So x1, y1, x2, y2 are given. From that we identify the length. So how we identify the length? Absolute of x2 minus x1 or absolute of y2 minus y1, which is greater? Which is greater or the highest? So in this case, y2 minus y1 is 5, x2 minus x1 is 5, both are same. So the length is equal to 5. Then after calculating the length, next we need to identify the value of delta x and delta y, because that values we are going to use to find out the next pixel or next unit on the raster. So these equations are there, delta x and delta y. The equation of delta x is x2 minus x1 divided by length. So x2 minus x1, 5 divided by 5, correct? So it is 1. And delta y is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by length, which is again 1. Correct? So these values we require during the calculation. Next we calculate x is equal to x1 plus 0.5. So I write it here, x is equal to x1 plus 0.5. What is x value? 0 initially. So 0 plus 0.5, it is 0.5. Y is equal to y1 plus 0.5. Whatever the starting point, we add 0.5 in that. It is 0 plus 0.5. Now we are incrementing through the main loop. Now we are going to this main loop. Okay. Incrementing through main loop. I write here value of I, set pixel that we are going to draw on the screen, the value of x and y. So these 4 values are required during the calculation: I, x, y, and the set pixel. Initial value of x and y is 0.5, 0.5. That we already calculated. Initial value of x and y 0.5, 0.5. After that, what value is required? I is equal to 1. We start with I is equal to 1. After that, while I is less than length s, what is the value of length here? The value of length is 5. Okay. So whether I is less than or equal to 5 s, then the next set pixel integer x comma y. Set pixel integer x comma y. So here what is the integer of x and y? 0, 0. So set pixel 0, comma 0. 0, comma 0. So this pixel is generated here. Clear? Now the next one. After that, next x is equal to x plus delta x, y is equal to y plus delta y. So what is the previous value of x? 0.5. What is delta x and delta y? 1, 1. Delta x and delta y both are 1, 1. So x plus delta x, it is become 1.5, 1.5. Now these values are set with 1.5, 1.5. Next, increase the value of I. I is equal to I plus 1. So I becomes 2. I becomes 2. Again check. I is less than n, s. It is less than length. Then set pixel integer x comma y. So what is the integer of this x and y? 1, 1. So here the pixel which is set with value 1, 1. This pixel is set here. After this, the next one loop x and y, delta x and delta y both are 1. So it becomes 2.5. I is equal to I plus 1. Increase the value of I, it becomes 3. Then while I is less than or equal to length s, set pixel integer x, integer y, that is 2, 2. So 2, 2 is generated here, or the pixel is 1. Okay. Then set pixel next x and y increase with delta x, delta y, it becomes 3.5, 3.5. Next, increase the value of I becomes 4. 4 is less than length. So set pixel integer x, integer y, what is it? 3, 3. Okay. Next, after set pixel x increased by delta x, y increased by delta y, 1 is added here, it becomes 4.5, 4.5. Increase the value of I by 1, I becomes 5 now. Whether it is less than or equal to length, it is equal to length. So again enter into the left loop, set pixel 4, 4. So here 4, 4. This pixel is generated. Now the next one, set x is equal to delta x, y is equal to y plus delta y. So it becomes 5.5, 5.5. Increase the value of I, it becomes 6. Correct? So whether it is less than or equal to length, no, comes out of the loop and while finish. So here you can see the line is generated in this way. What happens here in this case, that the line looks very short. Whether the last point is considered here 5, 5 end point, it is not generated here. It is generated from 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3 and 4, 4. Last point is not generated, and that's why line looks like a short one. Why it happened? Because I started with 1. If we start this I value 0, then 5 becomes activated. 5, 5, is not activated here. Why? Because I start with 1. That's why. If we start I with 0, then 5, 5 will activate. That is about the simple DDA algorithm. See, here one thing you need to remember, because in the decimal line drawing or in circle operation, we are going to use the word quadrant. Okay. So what is this quadrant? Okay. What is this quadrant mean? See, any XY plane. Okay. In this way. XY plane. It is divided into 4 quadrants. We call normally it as the first quadrant. This is second one. This is third one. And this is fourth one. Now, when we call it in the first, if both the values are positive, 0, 0 to 5, 5, suppose. In this way, it is generated the line in first quadrant. If I use 0, 0, minus 5, minus 5, in which quadrant it goes? Minus 5, minus 5? In third quadrant. So, if it is minus, minus, then in the third, it is come here, in the fourth quadrant. If 0, 0, minus 5, minus 5. If I take here minus 1, minus 1, minus 5, minus 5, it is in the third quadrant. And opposite, y is positive and x is negative, it generates the line in the second quadrant. So this question may also there. Okay, so remember that every xy plane in the 2D divided into 4 quadrants. So in this example, we created a line in the first quadrant. Why? Because starting and ending point both are positive. If both are not positive, then it may be in the second, third or fourth quadrant. If both are negative, in the third quadrant. So that is about the quadrant concept.